Yes.
The command on parity is gamma.
Yes.
So for if the initial parity is an arbitrary command,
Yes.
then what methods does this command still give all the
Yes.
useful?
Uh-huh. So for example, let's just do a quick example. Let's do all parameters gamma at 0. It's a very interesting infinitesimal character. How many representations does SP6R have at infinitesimal character 0?
About 6.
Approximately 6, David says.
Maybe 8. Wrong twice.
So how'd you come up with 6 or 8, approximately?
So there's at least one for each carton, and there are I forget how many cartons, but about 5. And for some cartons there are 2, and I mean there are certainly 2 attached to the compact carton, and I figured that for most of the others it was just 1. So, you know, in a sense, my guess was there were about 6 cartons, and only the compact one had 2 representations on it.
I guess you could also count the one-dimensionals on the dual, and so those three of the 4 forms are disconnected, so I have 2 one-dimensionals.
Oh, that's what I was confused about. It's the disconnectedness. Yes, these each have 2 one-dimensional representations, and this has 1.
That's
2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 7.
much cleverer.
But never mind. Go ahead.
Is that 7 a coincidence?
Yes. Okay, so this works at any infinitesimal character. So,
Can I ask, could you ask the same question for the dual of SP6?
well, which question?
So how many, a matrix, the block size matrix for all?
I could. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll come back and do that. So you take this representation number 0 is in the block it's in is of size 53. So if you wanted to go through and you can that's interesting. Block this number 1 is in a block of size 27. So just by sort of poking around, I've found this block of size 27. Let's say set B27 is equal to this. Pardon me?
Just print block of O1.
Print block of yeah, it's a bit wide. So anyway, here are the 27 representations in this other block, and let's just see where the hell is this block of size 1? Now I'm just going to take a crazy guess here. Let's do sharp because it's 87. Probably not the last one, right? No.
The first one.
Huh?
I mean, with all, you get the principal series first. And
Oh, thank you. Oh, the principal series are first. Thank you. Oh, there's the 7. There it is. Block number, representation number 5. So that, it turns out, so what does it mean that this representation is in a block by itself? It means that the standard representation is irreducible, So this is the irreducible principal series.
So just to show that you can do this by command, can you type first and then 88,
First,
first parentheses 88,
A what?
88,
8, 8.
Oh, 88.
yeah, that's the total number, and then parentheses, comma, parentheses, DI, column, and then number block of all I equals 1. You didn't say the block.
Block of cardinality of block.
Oh,
Just the same as
yeah, yeah, yeah.
time.
Oops. Block of.
Then you're gonna have to do the type.
Okay.
What does that do?
So it runs over the block and it finds the first place where the block is of size 1, and it said number 5.
Oh, you did the same.
I did the same. But like I said, Mark's smarter. Okay, so let me segue now to Vogan duality.
The other,
Ah, you wanted the other matrix, fine, good idea. So let's set G,
Do SL6. Well, I don't know. GL6.
well, I wanted to see this matrix from the other direction.
That's
Oh,
what I want to see.
oh,
So.
Yeah, no, I think
Let him guide you.
GL6 would be.
GL6R?
Yeah.
All right, before we do it, let's think a little. GL6,
The point of having computers is not to think.
I know this all too well. So let me just tell you, before Mark came on board about 10 years ago, Faco Declue was the programmer who started the project, wrote it from scratch. And he told me something once which is unbelievable, which is that he said that he never hit Control C. When he started the software, he never hit Control C because he only started the software if he knew it would run to completion. It's amazing.
You didn't do any large examples?
He did large examples.
But he set the time aside for them, yeah.
Yeah.
And he knew how much time. He knew if it was going to take an hour. Yeah. It's amazing to me. I don't know. Anyway, GL6R. What are all the real forms of GL6? Well, there's GL3H. What are the dual real forms? So I'll explain this in a minute. The dual inner class is the compact inner class. So this has U6, U5, 1, U4, 2, and U3, 3. So that's the table we're going to get. And what are the numbers? 15, 1, 21, 120, and 215. Does that answer your question?
So now let's do all parameters.
For G?
Yeah.
Ah, do you really want to talk about this, David?
Just ask a question.
Do it.
Well, I'd rather do GL2, where it's
Okay.
GL4.
GL2.
GL2 is fine.
Oh, not U2, sorry. GL1H. And what do we have here? 0, 1, 1, 3. And this is, the dual group is U2 and U11. So there are 4 representations in this bottom row. Let's do sharp all parameters gamma G at rho of G. And we should get 4. 5. Is this the question?
Yes.
So, and this came up in Jonathan's talk also. What's going on? There's another, so this is a strong real forms issue. So these are real forms, but if you made the same table with strong real forms, I'd have 2 versions of U2. We've seen this a few times. And the complete table would look like this. And there's your 5.
0 above.
I'm sorry, 0 above. And this is is an irreducible principal series of GL2R with lowest k-type trivial. And this is an irreducible principal series of GL2R with lowest k-type sign. And tensoring with sign interchanges those 2.
Actually, it's not trivial. How do I say it? Well, we could do branch, but it isn't the trivial.
At rho? Oh, you're
The
right.
spherical representation
Is reducible.
at rho is reducible.
Oh, you're right.
So it's the.
You're right.
Now I'm confused.
Okay, well, let's.
Oh, sorry. There are two.
There are 2 irreducible principal series.
with the same lowest k type.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right.
Which is the 2-dimensional or the first 2-dimensional of O2.
Yeah, and tensoring with sign does switch them,
Yeah.
but
But
but anyway, this is an irreducible principal series. Okay, so let's go on. Well, I mean, this is an example of what I'm going to be talking about. Theorem. You know, I just decided I'm going to start writing really small. Suppose I give you a real group G of R and a block B. Well, I should back up a step. Fix our G and our delta, our inner class. Associated to that is G check, which is the complex connected dual group, just with the dual root system. So let me say it this way. Starting with G, you construct a dual group. Given delta, you construct a delta check. And delta check is equal to minus delta transpose. The minus sign requires a little bit of explanation, but I don't want to go into it, but it's important. It's not just the transpose, it's got a minus sign in it. And so corresponding to G delta is this pair G delta check, and the setting is symmetric. And so, okay, so that's kind of the starting point. And now, theorem. Suppose G of R is a real form in the delta inner class. And suppose 1 and 2, B is a block at regular integral infinitesimal character. Take a block for this group. Theorem. This is Vogan duality. Then there exists 1 prime, a real form of G check in the delta check inner class. 2 prime, a block for G check LR, such that, and a bijection, P goes to P check between the parameters in B and the parameters in B check. So think of them as parameters as opposed to representations. Think of a block as a block of parameters. Such that the Cauchy-Helmholtz polynomial for in the block B for a parameter and another parameter is equal to plus or minus the Q polynomial for the dual block.
I think they should be switched.
I think they should be switched. Q check, P check. So in short, these are the P polynomials which give, when evaluated at 1, multiplicities of standards in the character formula for an irreducible. And these are the signed guys. These are the ones with signs in them. Oh, and wait. No, certainly not. Because these are all positive. So these.
Then you should remove the plus or minus.
Well, no, I need that.
If it's positive on the left, it should be positive on the right. Q's are positive as well.
Now I'm confused.
Mark's right, there's no plus or minus in this formula. The thing is that...
there's a form, there's a plus or minus in the pairing.
Yeah, the first one is plus or minus a multiplicity.
Yeah, so this, if you evaluate these polynomials at 1, you're getting plus or minus these multiplicities. And over on this side, Q, this thing at 1, is giving the multiplicity of an irreducible in a standard. And these are greater than or equal to 0. And so this is saying, it's a duality that, just one second, the P polynomials on one side are equal to the Q polynomials on the other. Yeah.
And there are formulas for the other infinitesimal character.
Yes. Yeah, so at a first, I mean, your first guess is that you could do both sides at rho. That's often the case, but not always. And so maybe I'll just put a note here. Note, if G is semi-simple and simply connected, without loss of generality, the infinitesimal character of B can be taken to be rho. But if G is semi-simple and simply connected, the dual group is very likely not, in which case you can't say the same thing on the dual side.
B and B, check.
Right. This is true for G. For B check, you might not be able to do it at rho.
It might be worth, when you wrote multiplicity of standards in character formula for irreducible, it's the multiplicity of I of P in J of Q.
Sure.
And the reason it's worth writing that is that on the other side, it's the multiplicity of J of Q check in I of P. So P check, yes. So the I's don't change.
No, that's a good mnemonic. The I's don't change. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and this is a wonderful theorem, and it way predates Atlas. It's from the original reference is irreducible characters 4 from 1980 something. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it became a part of the DNA of Atlas, which is that, I did it again. Excuse me.
Oh,
He's going to talk to the food people.
bagel people.
Huh. We have bagels and we didn't pay for them, so.
They have your credit card.
Yeah, they have my credit card. They know where to find me. So, let's see, where was I? Where was I?
You were talking about the DNA of Atlas.
Oh, yeah, so when we went to figure out how to make parameters and everything and do cardinalistic polynomials, this picture was essential. And it's behind the scenes in everything we do. And let me say how this works in Atlas.
I don't know if that might be worth mentioning, but the QB check is also PB inverse.
Yes, that is, yeah, you're right, I should have said that. There's a matrix identity, PB star, times the signed version, times QB is equal to the identity. So never mind, nothing to do with the dual group. On the original, this is sort of obvious. This says that the matrix which gives multiplicities of irreducibles and standards, and the matrix which gives standards and irreducibles, those two matrices are obviously each other's inverses. They're inverse change of basis matrices, excuse me. And that's just on the group side. And this is a very different fact. This is telling me that this.
If you take the transpose of the equation you just wrote,
Yes.
you get the same equation for the dual group.
And you're saying transpose QB is
PB check.
PB check, and this is QB check.
Heaven only knows where
The signs go, yeah. Right. And one fact about this is corollary. The way Atlas computes the matrix P, PQ for B. And at least at regular integral infinitesimal character, if you want to know QB, of PQ. Well, you have this matrix, you can compute its inverse, but it's faster to compute it as P, B check of Q check, P check, and I'm not going to worry about the signs. So if you ask for this matrix in Atlas, it actually goes to the dual block and computes the P's. Okay? All right, so
So can I ask you something about those checks?
sure.
The last line you wrote there,
Here?
yeah, is it P sub B checks?
Yeah, these P checks are sub B checks, thank you. Well, actually, probably I shouldn't say that. That's what I should say, yeah. It's the P's for the B check. Okay, so, what do I want to say? Oh, yeah. Theorem. So let's fix our G, delta, GOR, and B. So B is a collection of parameters of the form x1, x lambda nu. That's what we've been talking quite a lot about, and we've explained what x lambda nu means. But in this dual picture, there's a different way to think about it. So what is this x lambda nu? X gives you a k orbit on G mod B. And in the D module picture, lambda nu are giving you a local system on the orbit.
Not a local system exactly.
You're right. At rho, it would be a local system.
It's a line bundle that, well, it's a line bundle.
Yeah, a character of the component group?
Well, it's not the
It's
component
not,
group,
yeah.
no.
What do I say?
It's a k-equivariant flat connection.
Well, no, but it isn't. I mean, that's more or less true at rho, but not.
Let's just say at rho.
Oh, okay.
And what do I want to say? So if you want to specify a parameter, you have to specify a KGB orbit, x, and this additional, this is a Z2 thing. This is the same thing as a character of some component group, which is some Z2 to the K. So it's some signs, and it turns out that instead of that specifying this local system is equivalent to specifying a KGB orbit on the dual side. Check K orbit on check G mod check B. And
Maybe this is easier to understand just at the level of twisted involutions.
Yes. Well, yeah. Let me state the result, and then. Theorem. Suppose I have G, delta, and this block B, and by the Vogan duality, I get this, there's G check and delta check, and I get this B check, and in particular, B check, well, this comes along with a real form and so some k, and over here there's a real form, and that fixes a check k. And the theorem is that the block is in bijection with the set of pairs x, y, such that x is in this KGB set, y is in check k mod check g mod check b, such that theta x transpose is equal to minus check theta sub y. So it's a beautiful symmetric picture. This is entirely symmetric, and so this is in bijection with B check, and the Vogan duality is switching x and y. It's quite a beautiful picture. And so that's where this business about blocks and dual blocks comes, groups and real forms. And so you take this real form of G, and if you take any check G of R, let's say G of R, real form of check G, you can take the KGBs from here and the KGBs from there, and you can make the set of pairs x, y, such that theta x transpose is equal to minus check theta y, and that parameterizes a block. Now, it might be that there are no such x's and y's, in which case it's empty. But, and then those matrices that we were talking about were computing these numbers. Yes?
So you said that another part, you fix your real form on the left, right?
Yes,
And you are varying your real forms.
exactly, yes.
To get all the.
Yep. So, let's do one last example. Where should I do this? Let's do it over here.
But something seems like, I can't think what the simple phrase, but in a sense you see all the forms in the class, but when you talk about the trivial representation, it's
That's right. That's right. So, let me just do this example of SL2R, well, SL2C. SL2C. So G is SL2C, delta is equal to 1. Check G is equal to PGL2C, and check delta is equal to 1. And the possible x's here are 0, 1, and 2, and theta 0 is equal to theta 1 is the identity, and theta 2 is minus the identity. And